Good day, one and all, and to one and all a good day. My name is Speedy, also known as Lewis, welcoming you to a second gaming video, this time not on Forza Horizon 3, but Forza Motorsport 7. The car that you're currently seeing on screen is the 2013 first generation Hyundai Veloster Turbo, a car produced by the Koreans for the Western world. It's not the prettiest looking machine, as you can see, and by no means is it the fastest. But by how many means is it by no means not the fastest? That is the question, and a question that I shall be answering, I hope, with a series of time trials that I have planned for this particular Hyundai Veloster Turbo, as well as a pair of new Hyundai Veloster Turbos that are apparently coming out next year in the form of the 2019 Hyundai Veloster Turbo and the 2019 Hyundai Veloster N, which were available as a free DLC for Forza Motorsport 7. These tests are going to take place across a series of 3 tracks. In fact, if I just quickly reach over to my phone, I'm incredibly unprofessional. I haven't booted up the leaderboard that I've drawn up on my phone or anything. The 3 tracks that we are going to be taking a look at today will include Road Atlanta, Lime Rock, and Circuit de Catalunya. All 3 tracks that neither here nor there for me personally. All 3 cars are going to get 3 laps per circuit. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the fastest lap time of those 3 laps, mark them down on the leaderboard, and see which performs best at which track. That's what's going to be happening. I hope that this all goes according to plan. Right, so the 2013 Hyundai Veloster Turbo, this was it on the 3rd and final lap, where it clocked in the fastest time that it could, which was a 1 minute 50.843 seconds. I don't know if that's a good time for this car around this track in particular. I don't know if that's average. I honestly have not the foggiest. On the whole, however, it was around this track it was an okay-ish car to drive. It wasn't the best car in the world that I've driven, but simultaneously it hasn't been the worst car that I've driven around Road Atlanta. I think it's just a bit too underpowered. I think that's the car's problem. It's just a wee bit too underpowered for it to really know what to do. Like, for example, through these next 2 turns, the car was actually surprisingly sluggish. It's a lot sluggish around these 2 turns than it actually looks. But on the whole, yeah, a 1 minute 50.843 seconds. Whether or not that's a good lap time or not, completely and utterly different story, but yeah, we'll see what the other 2 cars make of it. So, we now move on to our second car, which is the 2019 Hyundai Veloster Turbo. Few differences in relation to this car and the first generation, which we saw on the previous lap. This one has 50 horsepower more to the nearest full 10. This example is producing 250 horsepower. The first generation Hyundai Veloster Turbo that you saw me driving earlier only produced 200 horsepower, again to the closest full 10. Other differences, this one has got an inline 6. The last one I have good reason to believe was only an inline 4, so this car did have an additional 2 cylinders to play with. The time that it had to beat was a 1 minute 50.843 seconds, and it beat it on its second lap with a time of 1 minute 47.461 seconds. On the whole, performance-wise, it still felt a bit too sluggish, to be perfectly honest, and as counterintuitive as this is going to sound, it was at its best on the downhill section, especially the opening chicane section after turn 1. I know that, again, I know that sounds counterproductive, the fact that it was better going downhill, because obviously it's got gravity working with it as opposed to against it. What you see is what you get. You want a stupid explanation, you're going to get a stupid explanation. But, yeah, only one more car to go around Road Atlanta, and then that'll be it for part 1 of this comparison. Next car. Right, so this is the third and final car that I drove around Road Atlanta, the 2019 Hyundai Veloster N. 270 horsepower over the second generation Veloster Turbo's 250. Still a turbocharged engine. 6-speed manual transmission. That means I had to use something called a clutch America. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop with the clutch jokes. This was actually a pretty decent car to drive around Road Atlanta. I won't lie. It was an okay-ish car to drive. Makes a good noise, as you can hear. The brakes were surprisingly good. The throttle response, I will admit, could have been better. The throttle response could have been a bit tighter for my personal liking. Overall, though, yeah, not too bad a car. The time it had to beat was a 1 minute 47.641 seconds. The Hyundai Veloster N did it in a time of 1 minute 44.620 seconds. So that's about 3.02 seconds faster than the second generation Veloster Turbo. This is definitely a car to look out for. Anyways, I shall see you all next time in part 2, where we go to Lime Rock. Take care, guys.